Like, at IBs and Co, we have a lot of experience, actually extensive experience in dealing CGT, whereby we have, advised a lot of our clients, and they have benefited, where we have claimed in a lot of cases, entrepreneur relief. I can give you just a small example. A client of ours, they had 4 different shops, and at the retirement age, they wanted to dispose them of, and the previous accountant, he recommended them, that this will cost them 40%. But when they came to us, we managed to claim entrepreneur relief on the disposal of 4 shops, and whereby, at the in reality, they have saved 30% tax. So what is capital gains tax? Capital gains tax is the tax when you pay on the disposal of your property. The capital gains occurs when the market value of the asset is more than at the time of disposal when you have actually acquired it. I.e., let's say if you bought a property 10 years ago, it costed you £100,000, and after 10 years now you are selling it for £200,000, so your gains is £100,000. So who does pay that? All the individuals and the trustees, they are subject to CGT, which is capital gains tax. However, limited company, they do not pay capital gains tax. Instead of capital gains tax, they pay normal corporation tax, which might be 20% or 24%. It depends upon the the profits where they fall in. Mainly your land and buildings, and as well as shares and business assets, including goodwill, are subject to CGT. The assets which are acquired before 31st March 1982, their cost is usually taken to the value on that day, i.e. 31st March 1982. Meaning, if someone has bought a property, let's say in December 1970, but at the time of disposal, or at the time of CGT calculations, we will not take the value when they have acquired, i.e. 1970, but however, we will take the cost which was at 31st March 1982. Yeah. So what other costs can be included at time of capital gains tax? It is the incidental cost of acquisition, i.e. if you have paid any stamp duty, you have paid the cost of solicitors or surveyors, so that can be included. Any expenditure you have incurred on the enhancement of the asset, i.e. any major repair, maintenance, or the improvements a person does on the asset, so that will include in the cost. Incidental cost of disposal, at time of disposal, if you are hiring a surveyor, you are hiring a solicitor, or you are hiring a estate agent, or any sort of expenses which are incidental to the disposal of the property or the disposal of the asset, that can be included. And there are other tax reliefs and allowances available. The capital gains tax is 28% for the high rate taxpayer, i.e. if your income falls within the high rate bracket, then you have to pay CGT at the rate of 28%, otherwise 18%. If you are selling a business asset, so you may qualify for entrepreneur relief, so which means your effective rate of CGT can reduce to 10%. So we can help you, which are the assets which are subject to ER relief, i.e. entrepreneur relief. So whereby rather than paying 28% tax, so you will pay 10% tax. So what sort of the reliefs are available? I can just briefly explain that. Number one is rollover relief. It allows you to defer the CGT on a gain of a business asset, where this is matched with the replacement of a new business asset in the period commencing 1 year before and ending 3 years after the disposal. Meaning, let's say if you have bought a business asset 12 months before the disposal, So the value of the acquired asset, like the gain you are making on the disposal of your existing asset, can be adjusted against the cost of the asset which you have acquired either 12 months before or 3 months within the disposal. So this is called as rollover relief. Another relief is called as a business incorporation relief. If you are a sole trader and you are incorporating into a limited company, the gains you're going to make in the goodwill, on the disposal of your sole trader business, so that gain can be adjusted against the value of the shares of your new acquired, your new formed company, limited company. So this is called as business or incorporation relief. Likewise, there's a third relief called holdover relief, which means, sometimes a person gifts an asset to someone. So, the gain will not be subject to CGT unless that person disposes of that asset which is being gifted by the taxpayer. I have already explained about the entrepreneur relief. This is a further relief, whereby the effective rate of CGT can reduce to 10%. So these are the rates. Now I can talk you about the capital losses. Any capital loss you make during a tax year can be carried forward and can be adjusted against the capital gains you make in future, but you cannot carry back your capital losses to claim against your previous tax years. So, if you have made, so there is a time limit, where you can notify the HMRC within 5 years of your making any capital losses. You need to notify to the HMRC so that can be carried forward in the future to, and capital losses always be adjusted against the capital gains of the future, not any other income. You cannot really adjust your capital losses against any income. Capital losses can only be carried forward and can only be adjusted against the future capital gains. And furthermore, there is an annual exemption available, which is up to £11,000, meaning if a taxpayer is making a gain up to £11,000, so there will be no CGT application on that individual. Normally, your main house where you're living, this is exempt from CGT. Your personal car, any gain on the personal car is exempt from the CGT. Non-wasting asset, meaning any assets whose proceeds are less than £6,000, that are exempt from CGT. Most of the chattels, the business chattels, where their life is decreasing, so that is also exempt from CGT. Life assurance policies in the hands of the beneficiaries as well as the original owner, they are not subject to CGT. Company reorganizations and takeover with for share exchange is also exempt from the CGT. Disposals within the spouses or within the civil partner is also exempt from the CGT. Further, just a final note, CGT is payable through the self-assessment regime, i.e. which is payable alongside with the income tax bill by 31st January following the end of tax year.